Hey dancers, welcome back. Today I have some more teaching tips for you, and today we're going to be talking about crossover steps. So the crossover steps that I'll be talking about today, they are for the adult group for the championship steps. I haven't taken much time to look at the younger ones' steps, but hopefully there will be some crossover for the adult steps to no pun intended, crossover. Hopefully there will be some crossover between the adult steps and the younger ones' steps so that this video will be helpful for everyone. So let's get right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is the regular crossover step, and mainly the transition from your third rear aerial when you're coming into the toe in third. So something that I'm noticing in my own dancing is that since I'm thinking about this working leg going down into the position very directly and sharply, what it can do is kind of send all of my energy down, and that hop doesn't always have as much elevation as the other hops in the step. So something I've been trying to think about is opposition. So as my working leg is going down, I'm going up. The rest of me is going up, so that I have an equal amount of elevation on that particular count, even though my working side is going down. So if you're thinking down into that position, maybe pick a different word or think going up as you go down. So for that count, it would be side, back, front, back, side, back, crossover, up as you go down. So that count has just as good of amount of elevation as the rest of the step. The other step I want to talk about is this lovely pause with the hop, step, and point. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys, when I first saw that we had this step, I was a little disappointed because I'm not the biggest fan of this step. But I actually figured out this trick for myself that really makes me like it a lot more, and hopefully it'll help you guys out. So what happens is when you have to do the pause and then you have to start your elevation again and then cut off your elevation again by doing a step, and then you're expected to elevate again, it can be really difficult to get into the rhythm of the hopping, because in the fling we're so used to having that steady hopping all the time, and there's not as much differing rhythm, at least with the supporting foot. There is with the working leg, but it's hard in the fling to stop the momentum of those hops and then start it up again. So what I've discovered as my little trick is I do the pause, and instead of thinking hop, step, and then point, I actually think hop, push, point. So it's still a step. There's no elevation going into it, but I think pushing with my toes right away. Basically, as soon as I take that step, I want to push off with my toes again. And that does one of two things. So the first thing is it helps you get that elevation back in and gets the rhythm of the hopping back so you can go back into the shedding on the other side. But also, if you think hop, push, it kind of helps you more to go straight up on that count instead of drifting over to the side. So when I do this step, I think for my shedding, 2, 3, 4, pause, hop, push. And it helps me go straight up, and then it helps me get back into that other side, pause, hop, push. And it just gives like a little bit more bounce to it, because that particular step I do find when I was first starting to work on it, it had a tendency to look a little squatty and awkward, and also I was tripping myself a lot. So this little trick, hop, push with the toes right away, it kind of really helped me just to switch my mindset and think of it as a push instead of a step. But yes, it is a step, and you're not supposed to do a spring at all, but you can't push off the ground if you're not putting your toes there. So it encourages you to get the toes down without the elevation and then get right back into the elevation afterwards. So those are my teaching tips about the crossover steps that I've kind of been working with. Hopefully you guys found something useful out of that, and happy dancing. We'll see you all next week.